as we make our way back, we're getting to talk about a lot of Rick and Bubba success stories today as well. Another one we were talking about, and we've got guys visiting today because Bob Carey's here, our syndicator and national salesperson, meeting with some of the national clients. And Brock Agee, Executive Vice President, and Wes Cromer, Vice President of Marketing for LeBleu Ultra Pure Premium Water, is here. We've been chatting with them and cutting up a little bit. The first thing I have to ask about is, my goodness, what's happened to Jerry? I mean, I hear that he tried to burn a barn down, and Jerry is the president. Well, what happened?
Well, Rick, there's always one thing about Jerry. He's unpredictable.
Yeah.
So he loves you guys. He wanted to be here, so I know this wasn't a fluke. He calls Wes on Sunday night, and he's been burning a barn on Mother's Day.
Why?
Well, I know, that's a tradition we have in our family, too. We take Mom out and burn the barn down.
I've heard of raising a barn, but I've never heard of let's all get together and burn one.
Hey, we're just going to have to call him and give him heck. That's just Jerry getting it, Wes.
Absolutely.
Is he okay? You said he was breathing some chemicals that were in the wood or something?
Yeah, he did sound bad. He really did. So maybe he needs some of this water that he's producing. I don't know.
Well, so anyway, so Brock's here today. One thing I wanted to announce, and this is a biggie today, because when you guys first started advertising with us with LeBleu, we were trying to figure out how many retailers got, and people keep calling and emailing, where can I get it? Where can I get it? And of course, you can go to the website, as I said. If you put in your zip code, if there's retailers, they'll pop up. And if you don't have retailers, you got to encourage retailers to carry water where you're from. Well, one of the one, because to me, you're not a product till you're in Piggly Wiggly.
That's right.
I mean,
you got to be in the pig.
The pig.
And so,
pig is the standard.
And so you guys were, people kept calling Piggly Wiggly about carrying the water. And are you ready to make the announcement today?
Hey, we're ready. Do we get a drum roll?
Yeah, you want a drum roll?
Sure. Let's do that.
Let's get some magic going. Thanks to the Rick and Bubba Show and all the fine listeners, LeBleu water has been shipped to the pig.
Yeah! Piggly Wiggly, Piggly Wiggly. All right, so there you go. Yeah, once again, the Rick and Bubba audience made it happen.
They made it happen.
Now I've been wanting to ask you, and Jerry tried to explain this stuff to me, but Jerry, he'll get to running on the water, and sometimes he's hard to keep up with, and there's and we struggle to pronounce some of the words. We're talking about the process that you guys get to get this, take out all the the things that you don't want in bottled water.
Yeah, anything with the nation on the back of it's hard to say.
Yeah, right. But when you, and I understand the process and all that, but it really would make our life simpler if you would just say it's nothing but H2O. But you had to go with this 1189 thing, and I get so many emails. What y'all talking about? It clearly says H2O, and what's this hydrogen? 11%, 89% oxygen. And I don't know what to tell them. Could you please explain this 1189 thing?
Well, H2O that's what you got. You got 2 parts hydrogen and 1 part oxygen. But I don't want to go too deep. But on atomic mass, it's still 11% hydrogen and 89% oxygen. So when we talk to people buy bottled water because they believe it to be pure. That's, if you ask people, they say it's either because it's convenient or they believe it to be pure. They don't believe it to be loaded with other things, inorganic minerals, chemicals, things of that nature. But, Rick, what really helps me, I've been talking to people at trade shows for about 15 years about water now, and I'll ask people, well, what do you think purifies water? And really the number one thing that I get is they'll say, well, when it percolates through the ground. But that's not it. We got to look up. The good Lord, when he created this universe, he did everything perfect. And what he does is what we replicate. The sun comes up every morning. It's heat that purifies water, not any type of a filter. So the sun comes up every morning. You get the whole hydrological cycle that starts. You get the evaporation. You get the condensation into the clouds. And then you get precipitation. And if you caught that drop of water right out of the clouds, you would get H2O. I'll just stick with H2O. I agree with you, Rick.
Okay. Well,
he's basically carried you through the steps of a steel.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you should have said that.
That might have been part of that barn burning this weekend.
Well, if you had just said that, I'd know what you were talking about. No, but you understand what people do. They clearly says it's H2O, and y'all saying 11% of this and 89%, and I'm like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just,
It's just a cute way to say the atomic weight.
Yeah, the atomic weight of water is 1189. But you guys have been highly successful. People have been loving the product, and now more retailers, and we announced another big one today. But I know that, and we won't get too deep into this, but because I know that's why we're meeting today, is we're going to be launching another product coming out in the summer, right?
Mighty Muscadine.
Bubba, are you familiar with Mighty Muscadine?
Mighty Muscadine.
I love the Mighty Muscadine.
I'm not.
Well, let me tell you, growing up, Muscadine, that was it. I mean,
Well, we used them for weapons.
but I remember always, your grandparents always were growing Muscadine, always.
Oh, yeah.
Fox grapes, bullets,
Oh, yeah.
scuppernongs,
Yeah, yeah.
whatever you want to call them.
Sure.
They're muscadines,
Right.
and they're
Jared
a
put 'em-
southern grape.
Did you ever put them on a stick and flick them?
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Did all
boy,
that.
you could. I mean, you could get some serious, speed on those things.
Yeah, because and my wife, grew up with her family growing, and we got to talking about this. So, are you ready to say that all these different names we have for it, it's all the same deal?
It's basically a muscadine.
Okay.
People call them what they want to.
Scuppernong?
Scuppernongs, that's part of a muscadine. That's
hey.
normally the bronze.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right. But it's all the same thing.
same thing.
Same family.
And I know that Jerry had mentioned that you guys were researching this, that there's a lot of wonderful things about the muscadine that you're going to capture in a couple of different ways to consume it.
We started about in 2008 with the product line, and our flagship of these capsules you take 2 a day, because a muscadine is just like any fruit. Where the real power is like in us, it's in our seed. So in Genesis 1:29, God gave us every seed-bearing plant. So when that's where the power is. So we've done human clinical trials at Wake Forest University, and what they found, these are published studies. So Jerry always wants to know what he's telling people is the truth.
Right.
Because a lie don't care who tells it.
Right, that's so true.
Yeah.
So true.
So Wake studied this, and they found with the cardiovascular that it opened up the arteries over 4%, and that's been published for several years. So now we're carrying on the studies with different things, and we got some big announcements coming up that maybe Jerry will come down for this summer. But the juice is incredible juice, tastes great, but the real power's in these capsules. And Wes has done a great job of launching mightymuscadine.com, and these products are available for sale and shipping's ready to go.
Okay, so you can get them shipped to you.
The entire website is free shipping. So no matter what you order on there, it ships to you for free.
Now, you didn't run the muscadines through your steel too, did you?
There's a back room for that, Bob.
Hey, I know what that is. That's muscadine wine. We make that all the time down here.
All right, we'll come back. Wes has dreamed of an opportunity to do something, and we're going to make Wes's dream come true.
I love it.
So that's going to happen when we come back. All the details, by the way, what we talked about with LeBleu and Mighty Muscadine, all there at rickandbubba.com in the show notes. We'll be right back. More Rick and Bubba coming up.
Rick and Bubba, Rick and Bubba.